Captain, welcome to STOBETTER's Elite TFO training for the Herald Sphere Task Force operation. We'll start with objectives.
The first objective of this TFO is to defend 6 Federation science vessels near 3 different portals. All 6 vessels must survive or the TFO will fail. Once the science vessels have been defended, move through the gateway to intercept Herald ships attempting to leave the sphere. Prevent Herald forces from entering the gateways for 4 minutes. No more than 15 ships can be allowed to escape, or the mission will fail. Next, exit the sphere through the gateway and defeat enemy forces and command ships that arrive periodically during the subsequent 4 minutes. Finally, re-enter the gateway to destroy the Iconian Dreadnought in under 3.5 minutes, thus completing all objectives. The overall TFO must be completed in under 14 minutes.
Thank you. On to risks and rewards. This TFO needs moderate coordination and team composition to play well in Elite, specifically in the first and second stages. In the first stage, you must keep the science vessels alive, while not losing any. In the second, you must prevent too many Herald ships from escaping. Ideally, none will escape during this stage. Adversary damage level is high due to the combination of enemy damage and disabling effects, combined with high enemy density. Unfortunately, relative to the difficulty and length of this TFO, it only awards a mediocre amount of Iconian or fleet marks, along with a chance for isomagnetic plasma pieces. Due to multiple time gates, this is also one of the longest TFOs. The adversaries on this operation are Iconian Heralds, which have a combination of smaller and larger ships. The smaller Baltum Raiders are not much of a threat, but Quas cruisers and especially Voth battleships are far more dangerous. Battleships can summon solar gateways, which inflict severe damage over time if left unchecked, and can spawn them behind player ships. Both cruisers and battleships can summon energy gateways, which increase their durability, and have abilities like EMP Pulse Probe and Ionic Turbulence, which can disable or interfere with normal ship operation, leaving you vulnerable to more conventional attacks. AoE builds are highly recommended here due to the number of targetable gateways and probes. Exotic builds that can clump and slow large numbers of enemies are excellent on this map. Be very careful about solar gateways behind you, as they can destroy most player ships within seconds. If you see one near you, manually target it as fast as possible. They do not have much HP, but are very lethal. Lastly, ensure you spread out in the first 3 stages to cover the science vessels, attack paths, and portals in order to prevent mission failure. Now, combat footage will be shown to illustrate the principles discussed previously. The goal of this section is not to illustrate perfect piloting, but provide an example of how to successfully complete the map with all objectives and without dying. Note that for brevity's sake, the footage is usually sped up relative to in-game speed. In the initial stage, choose one of the 3 portals and attack the Herald ships there that are threatening the science vessels. The team will need to divide to cover all 3 portals, as the TFO will fail if any allied science vessels are destroyed. This is not an area to hold back, so use your long cooldown abilities here to quickly complete this stage. Move to any other portals that need help once clearing your initial one. Once all 3 portals are secure, enter the gateway.
The Heralds are destroyed. Get to our gateway and enter the sphere.
In the second stage, the team again needs to divide up to attack the various Herald groups. The initial cutscene can be skipped, allowing for faster movement to the spawn points, which will occur all around the central ring marked on the map. If your team is weaker, working in groups of 2 to 3 on each group will work better than having everyone attempt to solo an enemy force. If your team is stronger, or in particular has a strong exotic build, it's possible to solo an enemy group. The forces consist of 1 to 2 battleships, 1 to 2 cruisers, and a handful of raiders, plus their summons, so AoE builds and abilities are well suited to taking them out. In this stage, no more than 15 ships can escape, or else the TFO will fail. While practiced and very capable teams can complete this stage without any ships escaping, having a few slip through is not a major loss. It's important to have strong speed boosts available frequently, as moving quickly from group to group increases the time available to defeat them before they can escape. Tank builds are generally not needed for this map, but can be useful in certain stages. However, since combat tends to be spread out in the first and second stages, not all of the team can fully benefit from the tank's presence to draw aggro. If using a tank, a heavy tank or DPS focused tank would be preferable over a supportive tank like those built for setting DPS records, since the map's objectives benefit from having more damage in the first two stages. However, as you can see from this video, a supportive tank can still be used on this map.
Gateway opening at 11 o'clock. Gateway opening at 6 o'clock. Gateway opening at 8 o'clock. Gateway opening at 11 o'clock. Gateway opening.
In the second stage, I partner with Jay's exotic build to clear each group. A more supportive tank will struggle to defeat Herald groups by themselves, so I drew fire while Jay did most of the damage. The use of fire at will with Baul anti-proton beams allows me to easily clear the gateways and probes that are the greatest danger to player ships. In this run, we weren't quite as coordinated, with only 3 players on voice comms, so Jay and I eventually had to split up to cover different sides. As you'll notice, it takes my ship some time to wear down even a raider, so a more DPS-oriented tank would have been a better choice. A more coordinated team with a better composition and better piloting from me would have been able to complete the second stage without any ships escaping, and we did so on our instructional video using exotic builds. Ultimately, only 3 ships escaped, which is a minor loss considering the TFO gives you up to 15 before it fails, and the rewards don't really scale that well. Once the timer ends, find the correct gateway and exit the sphere. The mini-map has the correct icon. It's at about 10 o'clock relative to the center of the map. After exiting the sphere, defeat the initial Herald groups and then attack the command vessels when they appear. They should spawn periodically.
Take out their command vessels.
Somewhat uniquely out of our Herald Sphere runs, on this particular instance, the map did not bug and command ships kept spawning, up to 8. As a tank, your job is to simply fly towards the groups of enemy ships, attack them, draw aggro, and help your team defeat them. If you are using a more supportive tank, using supportive abilities and consoles, like tachyon net drones or concentrate firepower, can help your team defeat the command vessels and their attendant fleets faster. Remember to keep your firewall cycle up, as your weapons will help clear the probes and gateways that are the biggest threat to player ships. The final stage is quite straightforward. Fly into a gateway, re-enter the sphere, and defeat the Dreadnought. The intro cutscene here can also be skipped by holding Escape. Once the Dreadnought is defeated, the TFO will complete successfully.
Sensor reading show that the ship is controlling the gateway. Destroy it! The ship is drawing power from the gateways. You need to shut the gates down, or we won't be able to destroy it.
Captain, if this breakdown helped you in your quest to play STOBETTER, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. The link to the specific build used for this tutorial is in the description. For more guides and builds, check us out at www.stobetter.com.